Hey everybody, we're going to go over some of the questions just one by one. You can access them all on Google Chrome. If you've already made it here, then you know how to access them. I'm hoping that as you find out whether you missed the question or you got it correct, I'm hoping that you use these tutorials to help you figure out why you may have missed some, and also to help you out with some of your answer choices, and just to, honestly, to make you more successful on the STAR test, okay? So the first question, figures A, B, C, and D, all below. Which two figures are similar? That is the key. And we know that when we do similar figures, that all angles must be congruent. And we know that congruent means that they are equal. And we also know that we must have proportional sides. And when I say the word proportional, that means that it's a ratio must be equal to another ratio, okay? All right, so if we have a square, I want you to look long and hard at that. And the others are what shape? Rectangle, because they have a different length and a different width. Can a square be proportional to a rectangle? Did the corresponding sides, the adjacent sides, did they increase or decrease proportionally? Think about that. If you were on Microsoft Word and you had a square or a rectangle and you wanted to increase the size of it, remember that little button that you can do the arrow? And you take one corner of a figure and you pull it down. What happens to the sides? They increased, or if we made it smaller, decreased proportionally. Now, do you think that we can eliminate one of our choices? Absolutely. No rectangle is going to be a similar figure to the square. It just can't happen. Okay? So we can automatically eliminate any of the answer choices that have a B. Okay? Those are our worst choices. Remember we talked about that in class. Okay, now I'm down to 50% chance of getting it correct. So if we know that it's proportional, we need to compare, let's look at B, A and C. I'm going to compare these two figures. If it's proportional, I need to find the corresponding sides. This side, I'm just going to put a little mark there, should be corresponding side to this side. And this side should be corresponding to this side. Okay, and how do we set that up? This is to this, and that should be equal as this is to this. So 8 is to 6 is equal to 12 to 9. Okay? Can we reduce it? Greatest common factor, 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. 9 divided by 3 is 3. Okay, so if we reduce this side, it should be equal to this reduced fraction. Okay? What is a common factor? 2. Divide the numerator and the denominator by 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Hey, it doesn't happen very often that the first one you do happens to be equal. Okay? So 4/3 is equal to 4/3. Yes, but am I going to stop there? Nope. All right, so let's go to D, and let's disprove. Let's see if this one works out. Otherwise, maybe I need to go back and rework B to see if it is incorrect. So we want to compare C and D. So these two similar figures, they're asking if they are similar. So that means that this corresponding side, the corresponding side to 6, should be 10. And that should be equal, this corresponding side, any side, if this is to this should be to this. So 9, and we set that up as a ratio. Okay? You could also put that in your calculator as 9 is to 12. Just divide it, and you can, if you prefer to work with decimals, 9 divided by 12, top dog. The top number goes in your calculator first. Okay? And 9 divided by 12, if we were to reduce that, the greatest common factor is 3. and that equals 9 divided by 3 is 3, divided by 12 divided by 3 is 4. So it creates a fraction. If you had put this into your calculator, and there's nothing wrong with that, you would have found that it would have been 0.75. Okay, just showing you another method. Now, if we were to reduce, you could put 6 divided by 10 in your calculator, and you would get 0.6. Okay, but I'm going to go ahead and reduce it as a fraction like I was already working. A greatest common factor is 2. 6 divided by 2 gives me 3. 10 divided by 2 gives me 5. Now we know that 3/5 is not equal to 3/4. We also know if we used the calculator and converted it to a decimal, menu to 1, remember that? Menu to 1 to convert any fraction to a decimal. 0.6 does not equal 0.75. So the obvious answer choice was B.